What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome. Make sure you click that link below to subscribe so you can see all of my new videos. Today's video is going to be a bridal eye look that is very, very beginner friendly. Through this tutorial, I'm going to take you step by step exactly what we're doing, how we're doing it, what we're using to do it, literally everything. I'm going to teach you guys how to achieve this really pretty, just kind of rosy gold bridal eye look. I feel like this is a very universal look for all skin tones and eye colors. It's going to look really pretty and flattering on every single bride. It's not too much, it's not too intense, but it definitely is very flattering and pretty and so easy to do. I'm going to take you guys step by step so that you can learn how to do your own bridal makeup yourself. I also filmed a bridal foundation routine that is going to be a separate video that I will link either down in the description box or in a card somewhere so you guys can watch. I know getting married can be very, very expensive and having a wedding is very expensive, so you're probably looking for all different kind of ways to save money, and one of the best ways to save money is to just skip on the makeup artist and do your makeup yourself. So I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that. You don't need a makeup artist, even though I am a makeup artist and I love getting hired for weddings, but you can totally do it yourself if you're trying to save money. It is not that difficult to achieve this eye look. You just have to practice a few times, find the makeup tutorial that fits the look you want best. Hopefully it's this one, and just practice a few times and you will nail it. Don't even worry about it. You're gonna look beautiful on your big day. Also, congratulations on getting married. But yeah, without any further ado, let's just jump right into this eye look. Okay guys, I started doing something and then I realized I should probably show you. So to prime my eyes, I already have my brows on. Do recommend you do your brows. It doesn't really matter when you do it. It's a personal preference. I like to do mine before. I feel like the brow products stick better. But to prime my lids, I just take a little bit of my concealer. This is the Tarte Shape Tape, and I just put it on my eyes and then I just press it in with my fingers. Because it's such a full coverage concealer, it's really gonna cancel out any redness or veins in your eyes and give you a really nice blank canvas to work with for your eyeshadows to go on top of. We are going to set this into place, but it's a really great eyeshadow primer. You don't need to spend any more money on eyeshadow primer. Your concealer will do the trick just fine. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of translucent setting powder to set this in place, but you could also use just like a white or a cream eyeshadow color. I like to use the translucent color because I feel like it's not going to dilute any of the eyeshadow colors we use on top of it, whereas something with more pigment might. So yeah, you just set this down into place and that concealer is ready to go and your eyeshadow is ready to be applied. Guys, for eyeshadow today, we're going to be using an all-time favorite of mine. This is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. Very affordable. It's $35 and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get 35 eyeshadows, so basically $1 a piece per eyeshadow. The color range is perfect for everything in life, not just bridal makeup. Obviously these are like some bright colorful shades, but if you go to this end of the palette, it's all really nice neutrals, warm tones, which are very, very flattering on everyone. It's just a great time. You need this palette in your life. That's all I gotta say. Just like get it. Even if you're not getting married, just fucking buy it for yourself because you deserve it. So we're gonna be doing something really, really easy today because this is an eye look for beginners. So I wanna keep it super simple and it's just gonna be a lot of blending. Just a lot of blending. No precision, but it's still gonna come out looking flawlessly. Okay, so to start off, we're gonna take this shade here. This is called MFEO. Not really sure what that means. And we're gonna take it on an E40 brush from Sigma. This is just like a large fluffy brush. You wanna take the biggest fluffy brush you got. Not the biggest, but like it needs to be kind of big and fluffy so that we can blow it out really, really nicely. You're gonna start in the crease, which is like this fold here in your eye. You're gonna start right in kind of like the middle of your eyelid, and you're just gonna go in circular motions back and forth all over this middle section of your eye and really just go in circles until it's really nice and blown out. You don't want to see any harsh lines. You just kind of want it to be like a haze of color, and this is going to add just some depth in the lid and we're going to build on it. But to start off, you want to just get this really nice and blown out, and you don't want to see any, like, you just want it to be like, oh wow, there's something darker there. Where did it come from? Don't know. So yeah, circular motions from the inner corner over here all the way back to this corner on the outer corner, and you're just gonna blow it out. You don't want to take it all the way up to the brow bone but you do want to take it pretty far up. Okay, so now you're going to take another brush. It's going to be a little bit smaller than the E40. This is the E13. This is from Morphe, and it's kind of like flatter on this side, but then when you turn it, it's wider, and it is kind of like dense and fluffy. It's just a really good brush. Now we're going to take this shade here, which is called Pooter, and we're going to take that E13 with it, and we're going to put this right in that same area. But because this brush is smaller, it's going to be a little bit more precise, but you still want to blend it in that circular motion the same way as the last color. But like I said, because this brush is smaller, it's not going to be as blown out, but it's still going to be nice and blended, and you're not going to see where it ends and where it begins. It's just going to kind of become one with the other color, but this is adding dimension to the entire eye. And the more you blend, the better it's going to look, so take your time. I'm using like the belly of the brush, which is like this wider part. I'm just going backward and forward in these circular motions, just making sure everything is nice and blown out. And if you ever feel like you applied too much product, you can go in with that biggest fluffy brush and you can just blend all of the edges, and this will really nicely blend everything together and kind of tone it down if you applied a little bit too much product. Now we're going to take a brush that's the same shape as this one but smaller. This is the E25 from Sigma, and we're going to take this shade here. This is called Mocha, and same thing right on the belly of the brush. You're going to take this outer corner to inner corner, and you're going to keep it a little bit lower. You can put the brush right on the lid and then start blending from there. So we're basically making like a gradient or like an ombre from lightest to darkest on the lid, but making sure that there's no lines, everything is blended really nicely together. It just very nicely transitions into each other, and there aren't any lines that separate the color. They just fade into each other. So once again, circular motions, backward and forward. Place the belly of your brush on the lid, and then just go ahead and do those small circles all the way across the lid. And because you're sitting the brush up like this, it's actually blending the crease. The tip of the brush is blending the crease, so it's gonna blend nicely into those colors. And now, you see, you don't see any kind of like separation. You just see a gradient of all of those colors, and it's beautiful. And like I said, you can always go back in with this brush and do like a once over, and it'll make sure everything is nice and blended. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with a flat shader brush. This one is the Luxe Smoky Shader from Zoeva, but honestly, every brush company every brush company sells a flat shader brush, so just get one, and we're gonna dip into this color here, which is called SBN. I don't know what these fucking acronyms mean, Jacqueline. What are you doing? But it's this really pretty like rosy bronzy shade. Very flattering on everyone. SBN, SBN. I have no fucking clue. We're gonna take this on a flat shader brush and we're just gonna press it all over the lid. And pressing it is going to give you your most pigmentation. It's going to give you your most pigmentation and your least amount of fallout. So this is the best method for like packing color on the lid. Pat it back and forth all over the lid, just like that. And this color blends in perfectly to the brown because it's the same tone. So it doesn't take too much blending to like fade into the stuff we put in the crease. So like I said, get it on the brush and just start pressing all across the lid. Okay, now we're gonna add a little bit of sparkle. If this is enough sparkle for you, you could keep it here, but I love a little touch of glitter. So I'm gonna take this Stila Magnificent Metals Glitter and Glow Liquid Eyeshadow. This is in the shade Kitten Karma, and I'm just gonna take, it comes in like an applicator like this, but I'm just gonna take a little bit on my finger, get it between like my two fingers, and literally all you're gonna do is just press this right on top of the lid. And it's just gonna add the most subtle, it's honestly, no, it's not subtle, but it's just kind of like a haze of glitter, and it just brings so much life to the entire eye look. If it goes up in your crease, don't worry, because it kind of just adds like a fade of glitter. So you're gonna start on the lid. I start like really close to the lashes and then work my way up, having most of the product hit like the lash line, so it kind of just fades up into like less and less glitter as you work up. But it just adds a little touch. And not to mention, this is one of my favorite products ever, so you will be using it in everyday life. Don't think you're just buying it for that little one touch, because honestly, when you guys get your hands on this product, you're gonna want to use it in your everyday life like I do. So yeah, As you can see, it just added so much shimmer and shine. It just like takes the look to the next level, which is why I love this stuff, but it's honestly such an easy step. It took like 5 seconds. Okay, now we're gonna take a like little tiny shader brush. It doesn't have to be too tiny, just something a little bit smaller. And I'm gonna take this shade up here, which is called In Light, and we're gonna put this right on the brow bone to highlight the brow bone. Doing this step is just gonna bring some light to the eye and also bring some light to that arch of your perfect brow. You can just take your finger and kind of go over where it meets the browns, because they are very different colors, obviously, just to make sure it's all blended. Now I'm going to take a black eyeliner. This is the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in Perversion. This one is technically like waterproof. It's supposed to be anyway, but it is very, very creamy. But with this, we're just gonna go right under our lashes, and you're gonna keep it basically in between your lashes. I know this is like a super weird step for somebody that's not used to it, but if you can look at the difference between my eyes, this one looks a lot more defined with just that little bit of a step. Like, you don't have to do a whole wing. Honestly, like a wing is pretty difficult, especially for a beginner. So don't even go there, just tightline your eye and fill in the gaps between your lashes, because once you have mascara and lashes on, if you see that like skin flap peeking out, it's honestly gonna bother you. That little step just makes all the difference, and it just like defines your eyes a lot more. I'm also gonna take a tiny bit of this, and we're gonna do this one eye at a time, because the stuff does dry quick, and once it dries, it's like locked in place. So we're just gonna go right at the base of the lashes and put on some black there. And you don't even have to go all the way to the inner corner. I'm gonna stop like right about there. And then we're gonna get an angled liner brush like this one. This one's from Eco Tools, and we're gonna take a black eyeshadow. If you don't want to go this dark, you could totally do like a really dark brown. I'm gonna take this black, but you could also take this brown if you wanted it to be a little bit less intense. And you're gonna get that on the brush, and you're just gonna press it right on top of where you put that liner. It's not gonna look like much, but it is going to define your eye. Instead of doing like a winged liner, this is a lot easier, but you're still gonna kind of get the same effect where your lashes look a lot thicker and your eye just looks a little bit more defined than without it. Compare this eye to this eye. This one looks so much more defined and like pops, you know? Like I said, just draw a little bit right at the base of the lashes. You don't even have to take it all the way in. Get that black or brown right on your flat definer brush, and then just press it in and define that eye. It's almost a cat eye, but like not really, but it really defines your eye in like a subtle way. That isn't gonna be too much. You're not really gonna notice it at all. Okay, so now is the part where we go in with some mascara and lashes. You obviously want to do a waterproof mascara in case you tear up on that day. This one is from The Balm. It is their Scuba Water Resistant Black Mascara. Whichever mascara is your favorite in everyday life, just go get the waterproof and stick to that. But for lashes today, we're going to be doing these Ardell Double Wispies. These I've used before, so they're not like brand new. Obviously for your wedding, get like a brand new pair so they're nice and fresh. But I would get a few pairs so that ahead of time, if you're not used to applying false lashes, you can just sit at home one day and practice and practice and practice. That's literally the only way you're gonna get it right. I'm also gonna be using this Duo Brush On Adhesive with vitamins. The Brush On Adhesive is not only a way better formula, but it's also a lot easier to use because you can brush it on instead of having to squeeze that big old tube that's like so annoying. I actually like to apply the glue to the lash and then do my mascara, and by the time I'm done doing my mascara, then the lashes are pretty much ready to pop on, because you want to make sure that the glue is almost completely dry before you even put it near your eye, because if it is too wet, it's just gonna slip and slide all around and it's not gonna stick. I don't know why that is, but you want it to be like literally almost dry before you touch it to your eye. That is the only way it's gonna stick, but once it's on there, it's on there. This lash glue is really, really good and it stays in place. If you don't wanna do lashes, then just go ahead and curl your lashes and put on a couple coats of mascara. You can also, if you don't want like a dramatic lash, you could also just cut a lash in half and just put half on the outer corner just to give yourself a little bit of a flare, but it's totally up to you. Just find some lashes that you think look pretty on you and use them. These are some of my favorite because I feel like they add some flair without being too much, especially for somebody that doesn't wear false lashes on an everyday basis or on a normal basis or has never worn them ever. It's going to add something to your eyes without you feeling like an alien. And my favorite way to apply lashes is with tweezers. It just works the best for me. I can't, for the life of me, get lashes on with just my fingertips. So that's the way I like to do it. But my method is to just stick the glue on, let it dry almost completely, and then take some tweezers and pop it right in the middle, and then stick down the ends. That's basically it. It goes perfect every single time, and then sometimes you gotta peel them off and try again. It is not a big deal if you have to do that. Just touch up your eyeliner before you go back in so that none of the glue is sitting there. Don't freak out if your eyelashes aren't sticking. It takes a few tries sometimes. So yeah, pop it down in the middle, and then take your tweezer and fix the edge, like the outer corner, into place, and then secure the inner corner. So as you can see, it adds some flair, some flirtiness, some volume, some length, but it's not like crazy, you know, like it's not like a drag lash. Okay, you guys, now that my lashes are on, this is the part when I would go ahead and do my foundation routine. I am doing a bridal foundation routine video that I will insert a card here for so that you guys can check that out. I'm not sure which order these videos are gonna go up, this one first or the foundation routine first, but whenever it's available, I'll put a card so that you guys can watch it. But I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I will come back so that we can finish up the eyes and like the lips and stuff. Okay, you guys, my foundation is on. Once again, check out that foundation routine down below in the description box, but I'm gonna actually zoom in. I forgot to zoom in so we can finish up the eyes. So to start by finishing up the eyes, I'm gonna take this really, really pretty eyeliner. This is Opal Overcoat from Pixi, their Endless Silky Eye Pen, and I'm gonna put this right on the waterline. I just feel like it is the prettiest touch to really open up the eye. But it's not like that really stark white or nude eyeliner that sometimes people put on the eye to brighten, which can be very, very unnatural looking. This is like a little bit more toned down, but still has the same effect. And it's like got a metallic finish, which I feel like is really pretty. Okay, for eyeshadow on the lower lash line, we're just gonna keep it super duper simple. You're gonna take a small fluffy brush like this one. This is the M507 from Morphe. And you're gonna go in Puder shade. You're just gonna get it all over the brush. You're gonna tap off all of the excess because our foundation is on right now and you don't want to get any fallout. And you're basically just gonna take this right under the eye and buff it out. The longer you blend this, the better it's going to look. So just take your time and really buff it out. This brush is gonna do most of the work for you, honestly, and it depends on how comfortable you're with it, like how far you're gonna take it down, but this is a very neutral color, so don't even worry about it, honestly. If it goes down too far, you can just take your beauty blender and tap it out with whatever's left on there from your concealer and it'll be fine. But the point of this step is to really just smoke it out and make sure it's a really nice haze of color under the eye. Okay, so remember that flat definer brush we used for the liner on top. I'm gonna take that same brush, but I'm gonna go into a dark brown shade like this one. This one is called Central Park, sorry. And I'm going to take this right at the outer corner of my lower lash line and press it in right there. And this is just gonna define the eyes a little bit, but not close them in. So it really just like darkens this outer lash line and gives it a little bit more of a smoky effect without closing off the entire eye. So just press it, and pressing it is gonna make sure that you don't get any fallout, because this is a super dark shade and fallout would kind of ruin everything at the moment. And once that's on, you can go back in with this soft brush or this blending brush and just do a once over to make sure that there's nothing too harsh. And then you're gonna take that teeny tiny little brush that we used to highlight the brow bone. You're gonna take that same Enlighten shade and you're gonna pop this on the inner corner of the eye to do the same thing. You're going to highlight the inner corner of the eye. This is gonna really bring some light to your eye and just like a little bit of a pop. You see that? Love it. Some people don't like to do this, like my mom hates this step, but I fucking love it, so try it. And then to finish everything up, you're just gonna coat your bottom lashes with some mascara. This is really the important part. Like, this is really the lashes that need waterproof mascara, because the moment you tear, this shit will be right down your face. So make sure whatever mascara you're using is waterproof. And this is just gonna coat your lashes. You don't have to put too much on, but you wanna make sure your lashes are nice and black so it really defines your eyes. Okay, you guys, now just to finish up with a pretty bridal lip, I'm gonna be doing like my signature nude lip. I'm gonna start off with MAC Lip Pencil in Whirl. This is my perfect lip liner shade. It's a few shades darker than my like natural lip color, so it really contours and defines my lips. I start right here in the middle of my lips and kind of overdraw my Cupid's bow. I can't talk while I do this, sorry. And then I also like to just take it on the outer corners and kind of fade it in, just to give the lip a little bit of a contour. And then I top that off with one of the best nude lipsticks of all time. This is L'Oreal's Ferris Nude. It's just a really nice neutral nude. Got it on my teeth. Really pretty, like pinky nude, very neutral, very gorgeous. Can't go wrong with it. And then I like to top it off with my favorite lip gloss of all time. This is Buxom's White Russian. It's a little bit plumping, it's a little bit minty. It feels great on the lips if you're having a winter wedding and you're gonna be outside. Don't do this because it literally makes you feel cold because it's like minty, but it's just the perfect nude shade. Like, it's just such a good lip gloss. Okay, you guys, that's basically it for this bridal eye look and lip look. You got a little lip in it, even though that was like a super boring lip. But I feel like for your wedding, you don't want like an out there crazy lip. I just want like my standard glossy nude, because I feel the prettiest in it and it's the most easy to maintain. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure that you give it a big thumbs up if you did. Let me know down in the comments what other kind of beginner looks you'd like me to do for any special occasion or anything like that, and I would be glad to. If you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Just click that link down below. I make new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 9 p.m. and I will see you guys again in my next video.